What's up? Welcome to a new tier list that I decided to do. I'm a pretty big fan of the TV series The Office, which has ended with 9 seasons. I initially wanted to say 9 very good seasons, but then I remember the final 2 seasons, of which there's only one redeeming grace that we will also get into during the tier list. But yeah, we're gonna be arranging each character from The Office into who's like the best character and who's like the worst character based on, I don't know, personality, how fun they are, how much they appear in the show, and what their impact is in the show, I guess. And we're starting off strong with Michael Gary Scott, the man himself. I'm gonna be amazed if I remember all their names properly, like their full names. Michael Gary Scott. You know, you have to give it to the man. He's what makes, I've talked about this before on stream. He is what makes the show cringe. I think without Michael Scott you really wouldn't have The Office. I know maybe the whatchamacallit, the character himself is definitely mandatory. Maybe the actor, Steve Carell, has done an amazing performance. Has done his performance as Michael Scott is just so iconic. So maybe some props should go to the actor, to Steve Carell as well. But all in all, he's funny. He's got a lot of development across the entire series throughout the 7 episodes, 7 seasons in which he's present, and one extra episode towards the end. He's got a lot of legendary moments. I think he's got most moments, like most good moments from The Office are with him. He's an easy S tier. I don't even need to argue anymore. But I just wanted to put it all out there. I don't know what the order for the characters is, but whatever, we'll just run it as is. Oscar Martinez. Oscar Martinez doesn't have a huge impact on the show. He is, as they call, okay, this is not me saying this. It's the show calling him this. I'm pretty sure there's at some point they call him this. The token Mexican guy in the show, or the token gay. Yeah, I don't think that. I don't think they call him that, but he is the only notable LGBT character in the show. He's fun. He's got his moments. He's got his unique personality. Kind of like the stuck up, the smart ass guy from your average office experience. He's got a number of memorable moments as well. The kiss with Michael Scott from the, I think, season 1 or 2, and I forgot which one. Also the one where he's forced to talk in a southern accent in the murder mystery in Savannah, or whatever the episode is called. He's a good character. How high would I rate him? I don't think he's an A necessarily, but he's definitely a B. Either a very high B or a low A, I'd argue. Now, David Wallace. Oh boy. David Wallace is an interesting one. He doesn't show up much. The only times he does show up, he complements Michael Scott very well. Because Michael Scott is the childish, dumb character, and we see David Wallace portrayed as almost like a saint with how patient he is towards Michael Scott. It's kind of baffling how much patience this guy has towards Michael. All in all, he's a solid character. Again, he doesn't show up much. He doesn't have a huge. He does show up in some important moments when he comes back in season 8 or 9 to buy back Dunder Mifflin. I forgot which season. He also undergoes some change throughout the show when he gets fired from from the company and decides to just live at home and do some side projects like Suck It. Just for Suck It alone, Suck It lives rent free in my head. I think if a character triggers a moment that lives rent free in your head, then at least a B. Should I rate David Wallace higher than Oscar? Call me crazy? I will. I think I will. I'll put David Wallace in an A. Again, I'm rating them based on multiple factors. It's not just how funny they are, necessarily. So don't take that as your standpoint. Gabe Lewis. Gabe, I think he has like another name. Gabe Susan Lewis or something? Something like that. I think there's a joke at some point with his name. I used to hate him so much. When I watched The Office for the first time, the entire 9 seasons, I hated his guts so freaking much. He's such an obnoxious character. But he's also kind of stuck up a bit, but in a more cringe way than Oscar. He's not based. Oscar is kind of based. Gabe is not based. And overall, he's been crafted specifically to feel embarrassing and cringe and just kind of pathetic, like the running joke around The Office, because nobody ever takes him seriously. He does have some good moments. If I were to name one off the top of... I think the one where he's throwing a party at home and he's trying to comfort a hungover Andy by playing the piano, like his electrical piano, and he's playing like this is what a soundscape of 1 nanosecond condensed, or like 1 second, I don't know, there's some bullshit, and it's so like that's a good moment. Even rewatching The Office a second time, and now on my third rewatch, haven't finished my third rewatch, but on it, I still don't like him. I don't like him that much. Oh, shut up about the sun! That's another good one. That's another good Gabe bit, which also is very obnoxious, but it's funny. It also lives rent free. I quote it a lot. You know what? I'll give him I'll give him just because I hate him, I'm gonna give him a C. I'm not gonna lie. There's gonna be some, but again, it's my own personal tier list. But I feel this is only deserving. Now, Jim. Jimbo. Jim, James, Jimothy. Jim Halpert. He's okay. This might trigger some people. I think Jim is a bit overrated. I've said this in the past and I'll say it again. He's funny. He definitely drives the humor in the earlier seasons, but his pranks he definitely has some good pranks. Others are just fall off a bit short. And others are just like completely mean towards Dwight. He does have a lot of good moments, and I know one of my friends and my mother. Okay, I'm gonna call you out, Bog. Bog, you're the only person who watches The Office for the romance, for the Jim and Pam dynamic. What's wrong with you? I've never heard that before. I thought people watched it for the cringe and like for the humor, for the comedy aspect. But I guess that's also like a point. And it's a very important plot point in The Office. So for that alone, yeah, sure. Overall, he's still a great character. Although, yeah, he's not the bread and butter. He's like he's just the bread of The Office. I'll rate him. I'll definitely rate him higher than Oscar, but I think he's just a But do I rate David Wallace higher than Jim? Ooh. No. Jim A. David Wallace high B. Yeah. Kevin Malone, that's his name. He's an okayish character. He has some funny moments, but I feel like most of his moments feel a bit forced. He does have the why say many words when few words do trick bit. He does have the he is a bit of a deviant as well. I don't know. Kevin isn't a great character, I'm not gonna lie. It is cool though how he is. Just for this, I'm gonna rate him higher than a D. The fact that he's normally so dumb, but he immediately becomes a genius at accounting when it comes to food or poker. That's a funny, and I don't want to call it an inside joke. I love to be part of one someday. That's a funny insight to the character. Yeah. Definitely rate him higher than Susan. Hold on, move them around like that. Jo Bennett. She doesn't stick around for long now, does she? I think she's only around for like one season, because then she gets dethroned by Robert California. But for the short time that she's in, she definitely brings a girl boss vibe to the show in a very good fashion, in a very good way. Girl bossing normally isn't associated with a good character, I feel, but she's like a strong independent woman in the non-woke sense. And yeah, overall she's not necessarily the funny type, but she's got such an amazing moment with Michael on her private jet. The moment where there's like a snitch. Someone at the company talked about their printers catching on fire, and she wants to fire them. Funny enough. Hold on, let me blow my nose. Oh, should I have no tissues on me? Oh, that's so sad. Anyway, I'm just gonna power through it. The moment when she takes Michael to her private jet, and she like starts talking to him, like asking him about his life and whatnot, and he goes, it's been a rough patch the whole year actually. That's such a human moment from Jo, and a very good overall scene. I love that. But I think she's still just a B, all in all. Higher than Oscar or higher than Oscar? Yeah. Maybe. Who do I look forward to seeing more? David Wallace or Jo Bennett? I think David Wallace, yeah. Phyllis. Holy shit, instant D, and not for any of the dirty puns. She's a good character in the sense that she's made to be detestable, I feel. But they did such a good job at making you detest her that I hate her so much. She does so many fucked up things and said so many horrible things. But overall, she just doesn't have a big impact on the show, I feel. You could literally, there's the whole there's the whole dynamic with her and oh my god, what's his name? Bob Vance Refrigeration. There's a whole bit with her being his wife, and don't make me call Bob. What's that supposed to mean? But no, she's a bad character. I think if you took Phyllis out of the office, you wouldn't lose too much. Straight up. And her friendship with Stanley is a bit forced as well. Nelly. I also used to detest Nelly on my first watch through, and I think a lot of people do, just because how she's like all pushy when she comes back and takes Andy's job. Does she come back? I don't recall. I forgot the order of events regarding Nelly. Nelly Bertram was her name, I think, her full name. Still, all in all, again, she has some funny moments with Pam. She has the whole adopting a child, which ties in a bit to Erin because she's adopted, but I just don't like it. Again, if you were to take Nelly out, yeah, The Office would be kind of the same. She does feel extra. Oh god. Charles Minor. The showrunners also did an amazing job at making him detestable, but he also does have a good counterbalance point to Michael. He is serious, but he's like overly serious. Or actually, maybe he's just normal, but it's such a wacky office that you can't tell. I kind of hate his interactions with Jim. Like, I feel he hates Jim for no. Like, okay, Jim does do some goofy stuff on occasion. But the whole bit with the rundown, like, also lives rent free. And I don't know. Charles Minor. I hardly know her. I think he's also a C. Even below Gabe. My voice? Yeah. Now this guy, your name is... Dude, oh my god. Some characters from season 8 or 9, I just cannot remember them. Their name. Dwight Jr. That's what I'm gonna call you, because they call you that at some point. You're also extra. You try and have some moments, but you failed. Not the actor, but the character is just, I feel, even worse than these. Even worse than Nelly. His whole shenanigans with Erin at first are forced and cringe. Cringe in a weird, like in a creepy way. And like the whole subplot with him going to Jen and getting traumatized, it's just not funny. He's just pointless. Mose, though, is an interesting character. He starts off as a very... You see him very rarely, and he never talks, and it adds some charm to him. The fact that in the later seasons he does talk kinda ruins a bit his earlier, like, build-up. But it's still a funny character that you love. Like, he's so random, you love to see him. So he's gonna be like, he doesn't have much impact either. I think I would rate him in... I'll rate him like a very low... No, a very high C. Yeah. Or even over Kevin. Hank has the legendary printer versus chairs meme, and the blues singing during the charity. And I think that's like, oh, and when everyone in the office gets locked inside and he has to come, and he like, everyone eventually gets out thanks to the cleaning ladies, and he comes and there's nobody there, and he's like, son of a... and I think it cuts. Just for those, I don't think I'm gonna rate him. I don't think I'm gonna put him in B, but he's a high C as well, like around here. Not a high, never mind, a low C. A low C. Todd Packer has some charm to him, in the sense that he's also detestable, but I don't know, never mind. He has no charm. He's just creepy. I don't know. he does make he makes a lot of awful jokes that will not stand nowadays. Overall, also not a very impactful character, but I think more impactful than anyone else in the C tier. There's a lot of C's, I think. I feel. Now, Stanley Hudson is he also doesn't say or do much, but he's an iconic character, and he has some iconic lines like, "Are you out of your damn mind? Because I'll help you find it." I hope I didn't butcher it. I butchered the delivery, but I think that was the line. And did I stutter? Oh, that's such a good episode as well. And overall, he's like grumpy attitude, and him always doing his sudokus and whatnot. I wouldn't put him in A for sure, but he's such a relatable character. Like, he's the first to leave. Like, the moment the clock hits 5, he's the first to leave as well. He's a funny character. The shove it up your butt thing is definitely a bit forced, but yeah, he's a high B. He's definitely a high B. Considering an A, but no, a high B. Now, Holy Flags. She's added in the latter seasons, 5 or 6, I forget which one. I think, or even 4. Man, I don't think that's way too early. Maybe 5. Regardless, she's the perfect synergy with Michael Scott. I think she definitely adds a lot. She's not S tier, don't get me wrong, but she definitely adds a lot to The Office. And she's very funny and dorky, but she's also pretty realistic. More so than she's way more down to earth, way more grounded than Michael Scott, I feel. But all in all, I love her moments. She's got some good bits, so yeah, she's also a pretty high A. Pamela Beasley, later known as Pamela Halport. Big spoiler. Who would have thought? Let me take a sippy. Pam. Pam with her Pam Pams. The earlier seasons, I don't know how to. They were still workshopping her character, and even later on, they were still workshopping her character. But I still feel like she's an integral part to the whole show. Not just because of her relationship to Jim and the earlier stuff with Roy, which is like a running joke, but overall, like the fact that they put so much effort into her career with drawing. Yeah. She's a lower A, but she's still an A. She's still very important. Daryl is very easily an S tier. The amount of memes with him and moments and bits and everything is so good. The episode where the cold opener where his grandma died and everyone at the office thinks it's his birthday, so they give him a card, and it's like a happy card, like, "You deserve this, I hope you have the best day," or something like that. He like starts crying, and then Andy and Dwight come in, and Andy goes like, "Birthday punches!" And then it cuts to Daryl's face, like deadpan, staring into the camera, like sad, like eyes, like tears in his eyes. That's definitely one of my favorite cold opens. Yeah, easy S tier. Roy gets sacked pretty early, and even his wedding, I don't know, he's just also a detestable character, all in all. I think he's a C. Would I put him over a couple of these. Definitely not over Hank. I might put him over Charles. No. At the bottom. You deserve the bottom. Definitely not. You are necessary, some degree, to the whole Pam, Roy, Jim triangle that's at the beginning. So I wouldn't put you in the D tier. That's literally means unnecessary to the show. But yeah, C tier. Now Dwight. Dwight, I think, gets some hate, a bit at least, but he definitely carries the latter seasons, and is an overall great character. Has great importance to the plot, has some memorable and funny moments, and has such a unique personality, and his overall like devotion to everything. And even though he's a bit of an ass kisser, he's like at the beginning, at least with Michael, I think more than Jim or Holly or Pam, I think he actually deserves to be in S tier, straight up. Below Daryl or above. Definitely Michael takes the number one spot so far. I have at least one contender who might go higher, and it might be a hot take, but yeah, it's a good spot for Dwight, I feel. Angela Martin, right there at the middle. She's not very special. She also brings some flavor to the office with her personality. She's very unique. She does have some good moments. I think I'd rate her higher than... No, lower than... Maybe David is a bit too high up. Yeah. I don't know what David was doing there. That high up. But yeah, this feels about right. She's also pretty detestable, so... Now, you have to keep that in mind. But, like, one of the better moments she had was the one where she had a cat cam, like a baby camera for her cats. And she sees the cats humping, and she goes home and then, like, starts, like, nursing them and, like, licking one of the cats, like, to quote-unquote wash it. That's so disgusting and funny, but, like, oh, God, it's a good moment. Erin Hannon. I wasn't a huge fan of Erin initially on my first, like, I didn't detest her as much as Gabe or Nelly. I just didn't necessarily like her. But she's a pretty good character, and she got some moments with Andy. She's got some moments with Plop. Forgot his real name. She's okay. I think she's a... Oh no, never mind. She actually has some good moments. Even the heartfelt moments with Michael. Never mind. Come to think of it, she's pretty high up there. I'm gonna rate her actually a pretty high B. She's got some of her jokes, like her dumb jokes, fall a bit flat, but she had a couple ones are very good. Bob Vance, Vance refrigeration. Bob Vance refrigeration. Bob Vance refrigeration. So what line of work you in, Bob? That moment alone, because he has like almost no other moments except for him and Phyllis at the restaurant bathroom, and like the hug moment at the not giveaway at the charity. Like those are like his only moments. Yeah, he's also a pretty decent B. Not argue. Even just for those couple moments, he's just chef's kiss. Plop. Hated him on my first watch. Hated him a bit less on my rewatch, but still hated him. Overall, still doesn't bring a lot, but he does. He's okay-ish. He's definitely at the bottom of C. Way better character than. I'm blanking so hard on his name. But then this guy, Dwight Jr., I'm gonna call him, but I don't know. His moments with Erin also feel a bit forced. and just doesn't have a lot of good moments either, or funny bits or anything. I don't know, he's just out there. Now, Robert California, also known as Bob Kazamakis, played by James Spader, is, in my opinion, this take might offend some people. I have considered it. I initially thought of maybe putting him in at the top of S tier, above Michael Scott. But I think he's good, but not that good. But his moments, his dialogue, are just like the caring, the one thing that holds seasons 8 and 9 in high regard. Him and Dwight are the saving grace of seasons 8 and 9. His Lizard King bits, his do you want a nature metaphor or a sexual metaphor bits are very good. The coconut drink as well, the energy drink for Asian homosexuals. I miss original. It's such a good line. Also, his when he takes like half of the office to a restaurant and asks Jim, your daughter Cecilia, what does she think of the street? That's also such a good moment. All in all, yeah, I love Robert California so much. You are. I'm laying so hard on her name. Or the name of your actress, for that matter. You're Jim's temporary girlfriend. That's for sure. Temporary girlfriend. I don't know. She also doesn't have much of an impact. She's just, yeah. She doesn't show up much either. There's literally nothing I can really say about her. I still would rate her higher than... actually... maybe not. Maybe I will not. And maybe I will rate Gabe teeny tiny bit over Kevin. And maybe everyone else actually. Yeah. That seems more appropriate. Now, Kelly Kapoor. Hold on. How does she call herself at some point? Not the smart bitch. Well, it's I forget. That's a funny bit though. She's got some moments and some character. I would rate her higher than Bob, but that's about it. She's like okay. And Ryan is actually no Ryan. Ryan has some good moments. His overall evolution throughout the series is hilarious. His New York arc is very good, especially the episode where Michael and Dwight come over. The Wolf.com bits are a bit like his later seasons performance isn't that great, but I love his when Robert California talks about the Black Eyed Peas being the pop for people who hate pop, rock for people who hate rock, and rap for people who hate rap. And there's like it cuts to Ryan looking at the camera and like nodding, like, dude, he's actually so right. I love that so much. Would I rate him higher than Pam? I don't know. I don't think so. Meredith is also like a pretty high B. Yeah, like someone actually like a middle B, a middle class. Her drinking and like inappropriate jokes or like references are a bit cringe at points, but she's got some character. Like she's unique. She adds a lot to the office. She does have the wholesome moment with Pam when she shaves her head. And yeah, she has a couple moments. Yeah. She's okay. Now Creed. Creed is a pretty easy A as well. The sheer randomness and mystery. I think I would even rate him. Like, there is not a maybe only like two. No, there's not a single Creed moment I don't like. Maybe with like one or two exceptions at best. There aren't a lot of them, arguably. He doesn't show up a lot, but he's so freaking good every single time. Every single moment with Creed Bratton is so good. Jen Levison Gould, Hold the Gould. She's okay-ish. Yeah. She's got some moments. She's the reason Dinner Party exists. Like her and Michael just made that entire episode. And also, I think that's about it. Other than that, she doesn't have a lot of great moments. And her later season performance also isn't, I don't know. Her role is debatable in the later seasons. I'm gonna rate her like somewhere around the middle as well. Maybe here. Yeah. Andrew Bernard, the Nard Dog, as he calls himself. He's an okay character. He does also fall off very hard. I don't know what they thought in season 9 or 8 or whenever the boat arc is. That's such an awful character development. He's also like pretty obnoxious, but he does have good moments, like the when he smashes the wall, the and he can't find his phone, which is ringing, and just ends up smashing the wall. He's got some other good moments. Yeah, sure. I'll rate him a high B. Why not? There's a lot of B's. Toby. I think Toby is also pretty much integral to The Office. I would rate him. There's a lot of. He's also pretty detestable, but there's so many good Toby and memorable Toby moments that you have to pretty much put him in A. Like at least a mid A, if not a high A. Yeah, I really, particularly I love like one of the more like non necessarily funny moments. I love the therapy session with Michael. The episode where Michael does like I think beats up like the temporary employee or something, like, or kidnaps someone. I forgot, and he needs to undergo therapy or like counseling. Yeah, counseling. There we go. With Toby, and like Toby actually gets him to open up. That's one of my favorite episodes. I love that. I love Michael actually opening up and being honest with him, and like actually getting to vibe with Toby for once. I love that. And D'Angelo Vickers has some. He's only around for like 3 episodes, but he has such memorable moments. He's such a shitty character as well. I can't in good faith put him in A, but I'll put him in a very high B. But he's the moment where he starts eating the the moment where he starts eating the cake and throwing it in the trash is so good. The fake juggling routine is amazing. Fuck, he makes me laugh every time. And when he comes back, like, paralyzed, like, he can barely speak. Oh, you know what? He's a memorable enough character to deserve a very high B or a low A, but I think I'm gonna put him in A, in low A, just because he never fails to make me laugh. Undeniably. Like, and he's a hit or miss. I put him in a high B just because of his involvement with the plot, but D'Angelo Vickers, dude, just he's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. But now this has been it. I'm curious what your take on this is. What your favorite characters from The Office are, or your most hated characters, or your overall favorite bits or moments, or jokes, or inside jokes from The Office. But yeah, this has been it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I'm not gonna get murdered over my takes. I know a lot of people have a lot of like very strong opinions on The Office. But yeah, this has been it. And until next time, if we might do another not quiz, another tier list like this, stay strong and bye bye.